Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I'm driving a 2018 Cadillac XT5. Up front is a 3.6 liter V6, and down below is an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now let's talk about that 3.6 liter V6. Well, I've reviewed two SRXs in the past, and as you'll notice, it's pretty much the same thing. They just changed the name and the looks, but it also featured that 3.6 liter V6. Now, it puts out about 310 horsepower, which I'm not saying is a small amount. 310 horsepower is definitely a good number, but you don't really feel it in this car. But what is new is the 8-speed automatic gearbox. The SRXs in the past had a 6-speed, which I never really liked. It was a little clunky. It liked to really hold on to gears and whatnot. But the 8-speed actually feels a lot better. It definitely shifts a lot quicker. It doesn't hold on to those gears. It doesn't feel like you're over revving it or anything. And it just overall, it just feels better. It's a lot better transmission. This car also allows you to plus minus like other cars. By doing that, you put it into M and then you shift with these paddle shifters. Not sure really why you need paddle shifters on a crossover SUV, but hey, you have them if you want them. The XT5 is also all-wheel drive, although you can get them in front-wheel drive variants. This is all-wheel drive. Although it is all-wheel drive, you can actually switch it to front-wheel drive. Like right now, I just put it into all-wheel drive mode, but you could switch it out into like eco mode or whatever, and it'll be two-wheel drive. So while we're at it, let's talk about the different modes before we get into the interior. Well, on the little mode selector, which is down here by the shifter, I have three different modes: Sport, Tour, and all-wheel drive. Sport's going to hold on to those gears a little bit longer, giving you a little bit more power. Hey, another XT5. Hello? Shalom? But Sport's going to hold on to those gears a little bit longer, really open up the throttle, let you redline the car. All-wheel drive obviously puts it into all-wheel drive. And Tour is just more of the around town, just driving, not doing anything crazy, road trip, that sort of thing mode. Alright, so let's talk about the interior of the XT5. Surely where it succeeds. Well, in front of me I have pretty similar gauges to the SRX. You have one huge speedometer in the middle, the tachometer to the left, engine temperature and fuel to the right, and still that loud blinker, although it sounds like they have toned it down. The gauges are nice, but down below that you get a little information screen that you can customize, which is a very nice feature. So if you want to be seeing something such as your radio station, your current speed, your direction, something like that, you can put it down on that little screen. Steering wheel is full of buttons. I mean full of buttons. To the right I have my stereo controls, which is definitely nice. To the left is the cruise control, which this car does have adaptive cruise control, which is a very nice feature. Means if you're on the highway and you're following a car, you could set to just follow that car, and when that car speeds up, you speed up. When it slows down, you slow down. Below that are some other little options. There's the heated steering wheel, the lane keep assistance, and the collision distance. Then to the right you have even bigger stereo options, which will either switch the station or switch the track that you're listening to. To the left of the steering wheel is a parking brake button. Now, I've seen buttons before, but I've never seen it so disconnected from where it would normally be. And you also get a little tray that's maybe 3 fingers wide. On the door you get your lock and unlock, seat settings, windows, mirrors, which there's even a button that'll fold your mirrors in, I guess while I'm driving too, so now I just can't see behind me. In the center you have a 8-inch touchscreen. It's called the Q system. Basically, it's your infotainment system. That's where you access the radio. You can change the station. You can change all your little safety features. It's the main hub of the car. Down below that, you have a volume slider. Not a big fan of, but it's there. Mute button and home button, which actually keeps it pretty simple. You just have 3 buttons right there. And down below that, you have climate control, heated seats, and all that sort of jazz. Then you have the shifter, which I don't like. It's not the fact that it's weird, because I've sort of gotten used to this sort of push up and then it goes back to the middle, pull back and back to the middle. Granted, I don't fully trust the park button. I don't know if I ever will, because it's not that satisfying either parking brake or putting it up into park, or even my truck lift it up into park. It's just a button. which isn't really satisfying, if I'm honest. My gripe with it is the button on the side that's required in order to change gear. Normally, like on the BMW, it's right on the side and you push it, whatever. But this, it's like oddly down to the side. So if you want to change it, you either have to cup your hand around like this, and the car stopped. We'll get to that feature in a second. Or you have to completely cover up the letters with your hand, which sure, you'll get used to that, but for a first-time driver, putting a car into park should not be confusing. That's dangerous. So you either have to cover it up or reach all the way around really unnaturally. If they would have just brought the button up a little bit to the side, just easily click it, you could see it between your two fingers, boom, you're done. Super easy, but for some reason, it's a lot more complicated. Then down below that, we have the traction control off button, which I'm not sure why you'd really want that, but it's there. The mode button, so like we talked about earlier, that's where you get your sport mode. And then down below that, it looks like a button. I started hitting it like a button. It's not a button. It's just a little light that tells you if you're an all-wheel driver. And of course, my favorite part of the car, you guys know, moonroof. Looks great. It brightens up the interior. All the old SRXs had it. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Cadillac, for putting in such an awesome moonroof. Another huge perk with this car is that it is a 4-seater. It's a proper SUV. No, there's no third row. If you want that third row, you're gonna have to go up to the Escalade. But the rear seats are actually really comfortable, and they even have a feature that'll alert you if there's something back there. So if there's any type of weight in those rear seats sitting in the seat, or if it's a bag or some groceries, mainly, ideally, I think it's either for pets or for children, it'll actually alert you on the screen. It'll say, hey, check your back seat. Really nice feature to hopefully prevent the horrible thing that's been happening of people leaving their kids in the car on hot days. Cadillac's actually even now reminding you, check the back seat. But this car is loaded with safety features. Not only does it have lane warning, so if you start going over your lane, it'll beep at you or buzz at you, but it'll also, like the Volvo XC90, it'll actually nudge your steering wheel and put you back into the lane a little bit. It's not an aggressive jerk. It's not like, hey, it'll just nudge you back into the lane. Blind spot monitors, of course. Pedestrian safety monitors. It also has an alert and brake feature, so the car will actually apply the brakes if you're going below 35 miles an hour and it detects something. So I was actually really interested in seeing if this system would work, so I set up a cardboard box, and this is how it went. Alright, so right now I am lining up in front of a cardboard box, and we are going to see if the front protection, crash protection thing actually works. So, okay, so on forward collision system, it says alert and brake. Have to be going at least 5 miles an hour. Here we go. Yeah. Well, it didn't alert me or brake. Wow, it really didn't do anything. Alert and brake. Let's try this again. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing at least 5 miles an hour. That's what it's said to do. Let's take it out of sport mode just because. Let's put it into tour. I don't know. That shouldn't change anything. All right, let's see if it'll do this. No, I had to brake. Oh, see, now it detects something. It's still, you can hear it. It still just hits it. Please leave a comment down below if I'm getting something wrong. Yeah, I went into the settings. I said forward collision system, alert and brake. Now, obviously, you wouldn't rely on this. You wouldn't be like, all right, I'm just gonna let it rear end things because it says it won't. Obviously, you should still be alert when you drive, but it didn't work for a cardboard box. That's not to say it wouldn't work for a semi-truck, but in the official shooting cars testing, I couldn't get it to work. On some XT5s, the rear view mirror will actually turn into the backup camera, which is super nice. It actually feels more natural looking up when you're backing up into your rear view mirror than looking down to a screen. Again, it's just a really nice feature. Now, like I mentioned before, this car has a start-stop feature, which has really been a trend in almost every 2018 car. Actually, every 2018 car I've driven thus far has had this feature. And I'll say it in every video, I hate the feature. It's just straight up annoying. Yes, you could turn it off. Yes, with this car, you can turn it off, but when it is on, it's just annoying. Now, it is in sport mode. If it turns off in sport mode, I'm actually going to be angry. It turns off in sport mode. Sport mode! It even has a little green flag, a little checkered flag. I want to go fast. I don't want to stop. Now let's talk about looks. Yes, I know it's not a strict category in my review videos, but I want to talk about it with the XT5 because I think it actually looks great. I think Cadillac is making some of the best looking cars on the road in 2017. Do yourself a favor and Google search a CTSV or ATSV from 2017 or 2018. Those things look so cool. They look so good. And the paint is phenomenal. It looks really nice. They have these really nice sort of muted colors. No, you can't get a Cadillac in burning orange or something, but they have these really classy colors. And I really like that. And so really, the XT5 is just an upgraded SRX. They just switched the name. They wanted to go to a different name culture within Cadillac, so it's XT5 instead of just SRX. But basically the difference between the SRX and XT5 is like Call of Duty Modern Warfare versus Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. And right over the head of the target market for this car. Okay, basically it looks better than the SRX. It's the same thing, it's just a better looking version, more equipped version. So since this is 2018, I get to look at all the brand new features because you could still build them online. I'd highly recommend doing that before checking out a car or whatnot. So let's take a look at some of the things that I found interesting on the Build Your Own Cadillac website. Right off the bat, I found this to be rather interesting. Floor mats are a $155 option, which this car actually doesn't have. It has the cold weather package, so it has rubber floor mats. But if you want just the carpeted floor mats, $155 option. You could get a towing package that will actually give you a tow hitch, which at first glance you'd think, oh, it's not really useful on an XT5, but it actually has a towing capacity of 3,500 pounds, so you can actually tow a small U-Haul trailer that's fully loaded along with your family. So if you're going to move, you could do that if you needed to, but this isn't really a towing rig. All right, so these are interesting. For $215, you can get pedal covers. Not sure what they do, but I guess they look nicer. This car does not have them. I'm fine with these pedals. I don't even look at them. For $605, you can black out the front grille. For $980, you can get clear taillights. These are factory options, people. $980 for different taillights. There is a compact spare tire for $350. Yes, if you want a spare tire, $350. But along with that is a free option, the tools to come with the tire, the jack and the wrench to actually get the wheel off. So you technically could pay the $350 for the tire but not get the tools. Cadillac also offers a bunch of different things. I'd highly recommend looking out their website. They sell like shampoos and car waxes that you can order with your car, which is interesting. But what I found really interesting is that you can get a safety cone for $15. It's just a pop-up safety cone. It's nothing special, but you can order it with your car. So technically speaking, you can get a completely stock, bottom-of-the-line Cadillac XT5 and a safety cone. This is what I found the weirdest. So for nearly $2,000, you can get a rear seat DVD entertainment system. Which, first of all, I haven't watched a DVD in a very long time. But if you look on the front of this, this is from Cadillac's website. I didn't make up this picture. I didn't find a random picture. You can go to the website and look. There's an RCA port in the front. RCA is an old style of video cable. It would go from your system to your standard definition TV. So, things you could plug into your Cadillac XT5 with the RCA port. A PlayStation 2 or your dad's video camera from 2001, and that's about it. Seriously, no one has used RCA in a very long time, but it's there, and doesn't seem to be an HDMI port. It looks like a USB port, but no HDMI. Cadillac, what are you doing offering a $2,000 option that you can only use with things from 2007 or older? So while I really like the XT5, I definitely think there are some quirks that could be worked out. This car is really complicated, and yes, you can get used to it, but for me, when I drive these cars for only an hour at a time, it's really confusing, honestly. And I know, like, I'm a millennial, like, obviously I should be totally okay with the 1,000 buttons that cars now come with, but honestly, I'm really confused by it. But the XT5 still captures that Cadillac feeling of luxury. I'm surrounded by very nice leather, the interior is superb, I'm very comfortable, and I feel like I'm driving something nicer than my neighbor. And that's really what Cadillac has always been about. Cadillac, back in the 50s, it was all about owning that car that was literally a foot longer than your neighbor's. It's always what they've been about. It's that American spirit of, yes, you know, white picket fence and little family, but my fence is a little bit shinier than yours. My family gets a little bit better grades than yours. So while I actually really enjoyed the XT5, I think it drives a lot better than the SRX. It's more comfortable. It just has some little weird quirks that I think will get worked out as the XT5 goes along in its lifespan. For instance, I hope Cadillac kind of simplifies the interior at some point, as well as maybe work on their collision alert system. But I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you guys learned something about the 2018 Cadillac XT5. But again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.